Hi folks, my name is Carl and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the top 6 online jobs for international students in Canada. Well, it could also work for international students all over the world. Now, if you're interested in knowing what some of these jobs are and learn a bit more about them, then stay tuned. Now, you'd recall when I posted my last video, I spoke about some of the highest paying jobs, part-time jobs for international students in Canada. So the focus was not really on online jobs, but just regular jobs. Some of them could be online, but mostly some of them were in-person jobs. Now, I got a comment from one of my viewers, and I thought it was worthwhile to make a video discussing some of the online jobs that international students should also consider while they're in Canada or while they are in other countries as well. Now, if you are an international student in Canada, please make sure that anytime you secure any employment, that the conditions of the employment or the terms of the employment do not violate your study permit, okay? Because that could be very, very catastrophic for you. So make sure you're always sticking to the limitations in your study permit. Make sure you're always sticking to the hours that you are required to work. If you haven't watched my video on making sure you are always adhering to the rules with regards to your study permit, the link will show up above. Make sure you watch that video as well, just to make sure that you're always abiding by the rules or the limitations of your study visa. Also know the difference between on-campus work and off-campus work. Now, if you're watching this video and you do not know the difference between on-campus work and off-campus work and how your visa restrictions differ for both jobs, then please watch my previous video to learn more, okay? I cannot stress this enough, as you would find yourself in deep trouble if you violate your study permit restrictions, okay? So you do not want to do that. All right, now let's dive right in and look at some of the jobs. As I mentioned, we'll be looking at 6 of them. Now, let's look at these online jobs that I really think international students should consider, because it goes without saying that most international students always try to pick up some part-time jobs to support their tuition or living expenses. So it is also very, very important for international students to find jobs that may give them the flexibility to be able to study as well. You don't want to go find a job that is so stressful, you're so tired at the end of the shift that you are not even able to study. And even waking up to go to school the next day is a big problem, So that's where some of these online remote jobs come in, as some of them that we're about to discuss would help you schedule your own time. Some of them, you are quote unquote your own boss, and you can decide to work when you want and not work on certain days or times when you are busy. All right, without wasting much time, let's dive right in. Now, job number 1, let's talk about freelance jobs. Freelancing is something that most people overlook. When you talk about freelancing, most people think, oh, well, it's difficult to find any freelancing jobs. It's difficult to set up my profile, and most people give excuses like that. But trust me, freelance jobs can bring in some good amount of income for you as an international student. And another advantage of freelance jobs is the fact that you are able to take charge of your own time. So you work when you want to, and you do not work when you do not want to, right? So it's not one of those shift jobs where you are required to show up at certain times and it's difficult for you to get days off and stuff like that, okay? So if you are an international student, look into freelancing. Now, when I talk about freelancing, it covers a wide variety of online jobs, and all these jobs usually are put under one umbrella of freelancing. But freelancing can involve opportunities in many fields. Some of these fields are digital marketing. Now, if you have any skill in digital marketing, please consider freelancing, okay? Consider freelancing. in my last video, I shared some of the websites like Upwork, where you can find, and Fiverr, where you can actually set up your profile and start getting some freelance jobs. Another field is video making and editing. So there are lots of people that hire other people to edit their videos for them. You know, if you go on Fiverr, if you go on Upwork, you'd find people that are actually looking for freelancers to edit their videos or help them even shoot their videos. So you could, if you have these skills that I'm mentioning, you could make some good money there. Another field that is thriving under freelancing is the photography field. So if you are good with photography, if you are good with photos, you are able to take some really nice shots. Just go in there and try to set up a profile and, you know, put some of your work out there. And trust me, you could get some gigs from people that are looking for freelancers to take some quality photos for them. When you're doing photography as freelancing, you could also be invited to come take photos at a photo shoot. You could also be given a gig to edit photos, given a gig to print these photos out. And, you know, in all that process, you're able to make some income. So if you are in this field, or if you have these skills that I'm talking about, please consider freelancing. Like I said, a lot of people overlook freelancing, but it can really make you some good money. Okay, just think about it. Another field that I'd like to talk about under freelancing is programming, computer programming. Now, if you have any of these computer programming skills, if you know any of these computer programming languages, like Python, C++, I know C++ is old, but, you know, I know a lot of people still use C++, and any of the other programming languages, you know, you could also look at freelancing. You know, there are a lot of companies that will hire you to write code for them. They would hire you, you know, to test software. They would hire you to test the code and stuff like that, you know. So if you have any skills, now these are just a few that I mentioned. This is not what I mentioned, is not an exhaustive list. Okay, so these are not the only fields for freelancing. So in fact, if you have any other skills, go on to these websites that I mentioned. There are many more, but I gave you two. That's Upwork and Fiverr. Look at these websites. Okay, go in there, look at these websites, search your skills, and look at what people are, the kind of gigs that people are getting. And you could also set up your profile and also sort of advertise yourself to get some of these jobs as well. So job number one, freelance jobs. And like I said, it gives you a lot of time as a student, because if you want to work, you work. If you don't want to, you take some time off and focus on school. Okay? All right. Now let's look at job number two. Now, online job number two, that is transcription. So transcription often works like data entry, but with a little bit more work involved. So when you have a transcription role, most of the time you'd have to listen to audio files and convert them into text. Okay, so you'd listen to an audio file, and whatever you're listening to or whatever you're hearing, you put that into a text form. So if you're a student and you have a fast typing speed, you know, there are people that can type 70 words per minute or 80 words per minute, maybe even 50 words per minute could work. And you can focus for long periods of time, you know, because you need to listen to the audio file, make sure you're capturing everything. So it needs attention, it needs focus. Now, if you're a student and you have these skills, you have typing skills, and you also have the focus and the attention, and you can keep that for long periods of time, then you can make decent money typing from home. Most of these companies will only have to send you the audio files. You listen to the audio files and then you put them in text, okay? Now, what I have learned about these type of jobs is that you need to make sure that whatever you're bringing out is as accurate as it can be, because most companies might not send more jobs your way when they realize that the audio files you're transcribing have a lot of errors, or you're missing a lot of things, or it's just not quality work. Okay, so you might want to invest in some headphones, and if you're good with typing, look at transcription jobs. Okay, look for some transcription jobs, and those can also make you some very, very, very decent income. Now, online job number 3 that international students should consider. Third one is translation. Now, if you're fluent in a foreign language or any other language, there is a possibility that you could also earn some stable income. Okay. Now, unlike other careers, translation does not really need a lot to get started. Now, as someone who does translation, most of your work is around converting oral or written material into the necessary language. That's it. So if you're fluent in French, for example, and you're able to land a French translation job, then you are going to convert oral or written material to French. Okay, so then you may have to convert oral material or written material into French, if that's the role that you got. So this is quite easy. It's an easy online job that most people do, and it's suitable for college students as well. Like I said, most of these jobs that are on this list are able to give you the flexibility, so you're able to study and work when you can, and if school is too busy, you just take a break. Okay, so if you are fluent in any international language or in other languages, please look online, look for companies that are interested in hiring people to translate text or to translate written material or oral material from one language to the other. And trust me, you can make some good living there as well. Okay, all right. Now, job number 4 is one of the most lucrative fields that I'm going to discuss here today. That is web development. So web development or website development or programming is a very, very viable option for students looking to earn some extra cash. You could be developing websites for businesses or for clients. And if you have experience in this field, then this could become something even bigger. You could go on to become a web developer. But if you're just interested in designing a website and creating websites or programming these websites for clients or for businesses, please consider web development. Okay, if you have the skills to do that, please consider that as well. The truth is, there are a lot of businesses that spring up every day, and in this technological age, most businesses, almost all businesses, need a website. Apart from businesses, non-governmental organizations, humanitarian organizations, and almost any organization would need a website. Most organizations need a website. So if you have the skill, and you are able to design websites, then and program these websites for them to function properly, you should look at web development as a part-time online job if you're a student, as this can pay very, very well. You can even advance in this role if you want to, but if not, if it's something that you just want to do on the side, then that's okay as well. Now, in order to be able to take on some of these projects, you would need to have working knowledge or familiarity with some of these softwares that I'm about to mention. One of them is WordPress. Okay, it's a no-code website building. It's quite easy. Now, if you don't even know how to use WordPress, I'm sure there are a lot of tutorials online, even on YouTube, that can teach you how to create a website using WordPress. So if you have the interest, please consider that as well, as you may be able to bring in more income than you even expected. You should also know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and everything that makes a website run in the background. Okay. Among the student part-time jobs, web development or web design stands out as one of the highest pay masters. Okay. For all those that I mentioned, if you're looking for one that is, that really rewards you and gives you a high income, web development is one of them. Okay, so if you're an international student, please consider that as well. Okay, now let's talk about job number 5. Now, you remember in my previous video when I spoke about the highest paying part-time jobs for international students, in there I mentioned working as a tutor, but you could also work as an online tutor. If you're the kind of person who helps other people to study, creating study groups, and you have, a knack for breaking down complex ideas into simplest forms so your mates in school can also understand it, then guess what? You can make some extra cash online by offering your services to help other students have a more rewarding school experience. Okay, so please think about this as well. If you really are able to do this, then you could leverage that ability to help other students, to make some extra cash on the side. So you help other students grasp topics better. You help them understand, you help them have a more rewarding experience in school, and you could also make some good income doing that. Now, I must say that working as an online tutor can be a little challenging, but it is well worth the effort, okay? It is well worth the effort, and it's something that is worth looking at. Again, working as a private tutor from home or wherever you feel comfortable, it gives you the flexibility to choose your own hours. It also gives you the flexibility to choose a specific subject area. So you're not tied to any subject. So if you're good at math and you want to teach math to other students, then you stick to math and you have your own schedule, your own time, and the flexibility to choose your own hours as well, while earning extra money. So you also can focus on your schooling. Okay. So look at working as an online tutor if you are an international student. And this, like I said from the beginning, this does not just work for students in Canada. It also works for students all over the world. So wherever you find yourself, if you have any of these skills, leverage them so you can bring in some very needed income to support you while you're in school. Now you can check out some of the online tutoring platforms such as tutor.com or Wisent. Now, online job number 6 for international students, working as a virtual assistant. Now, this is one of the most lucrative jobs online for college students and usually has no startup costs, but it is very, very difficult to find. All you need is some experience with computers, excellent communication skills, and the ability to stay on top of multiple tasks at once. So you need to be very good at, organization, right? Now, working as a virtual assistant, some of your primary responsibilities would include using Excel for record keeping, drafting reports, organizing schedules, sending out memos. Now, one of the benefits of working as a virtual assistant is the opportunity to network with business professionals. Okay, so you could be an assistant, a virtual assistant to a very, very top executive in a very big company, and you could be a virtual assistant for any company from all over the world. So it's a very good opportunity for you to network as a student, and who knows, maybe by the time you're done with school, you could be able to land a permanent job somewhere. You never know. So if you are an international student, always consider looking out for jobs as a virtual assistant. Now, like I said, it is challenging to find these kind of jobs, not because they do not exist, but merely because there are a lot of people applying for these jobs. Okay, so make sure you set up your profile nicely. Make sure your resume is set up very nicely. Make sure it highlights all your strengths and what you can bring to the team. And with persistence, you can land some of these jobs as a student. Okay, so it is challenging, but it is possible. And these virtual assistant jobs also give you the flexibility to study and also stay on top of your schoolwork. So that was the last one. If you are a student, consider looking at some of these jobs, as they can really help you to rake in some good income for yourself. Thank you for sticking around to the very end. If you're yet to subscribe to the channel, please consider subscribing, as it helps to grow the channel as well. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.